All right, in this homework assignment, we're going to introduce the traditional algorithm of division, but in doing so, we're first going to use the place value chart to show, in a sense, like what's happening when we do divide. And so, let's just get started, and we'll look at A, and A says 4 and 236 thousandths divided by 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our dividend in this area here in the place value chart using the place value discs. So there are 4 ones. There are 2 tenths. There are 3 hundredths and 6 thousandths. And the object is, in division, is that we're going to divide this amount evenly into 3 groups, as our divisor is 3. So you can see here, these 3 rows are going to be the 3 groups that we're going to divide this into. Now when we start dividing, we're going to start with the largest place value. So the largest place value in this number is the ones place. So we're going to take the ones and we're going to distribute them evenly into the 3 groups. So let's begin. So we're going to put one here, then another one here, then another one here. Now this is all I can distribute evenly 3 ways. I have an extra 1 here, but I can't split it here 3 ways. So so out of the 4, the number that I can share to each group would be 1. So I'm going to go over to my algorithm, and I'm going to put the 1 here in the quotient above the 4. Now the total amount that I can share out of that 4 turned out to be 3. I could share 3 out of the 4, so that's going to go here. Now I'm subtracting because there's 1 left, which is this one right here. And what I'm going to do with that 1 is, since I cannot share it evenly in the ones, I'm going to convert it into tenths. So I'm going to unbundle it and turn it into 10 tenths. What I have here now I have 12 tenths. If you look at our algorithm, you notice that there was 2 tenths to begin with. That's right here. But now that I've converted these ones into 10 tenths, I'm going to bring this 2 down and put it next to my 1. And you can see now I have a total of 12 tenths. So there's a total of 12 tenths here. And I'm going to see, now that I have 12 tenths, now I can share, out of the 12, I can share that equally 3 ways. So I could do this mathematically in my head to figure out how much I can share out of the 12 3 ways. So if I take 12 and I divide it by 3, that would be 4. So I know that I can take 4 of them and put them here. And I'll take 4 more and put them here. And 4 more and put it here. So how many was I able to share for each group? 4. And how many did I share in all? I shared 12. I shared all 12 of them. So now there are no tenths left. So now I'm doing the hundredths. So there's 3 hundredths, and I can share each one I can give 1 to each group. So all 3 are gone. So how many did I give to each group? 1. And then how many did I share total? I shared 3. Oh, I shared 3. So there are no hundredths left. Now there are 6 thousandths. So how many thousandths can I share for each group if I have 6 thousandths? So 6 thousandths divided by 3 is 2 thousandths. So I would put 2 thousandths here. And that would take care of all of these thousandths. So I can share 2 thousandths in each group, and I shared a total of 6 thousandths. So I shared them all, and there was no thousandths left. So our quotient is 1 and 412 thousandths. All right, let's take a look at the next one. Start off putting your dividend into the place value chart. So we have 1, 1. We have 3 tenths. We have 2 hundredths and 4 thousandths. Okay, we're going to divide it by 2. So our dividend is 2. You can see 2 rows, 1, 2. So I need to share my ones first equally, 2 ways. Well, there's only 1, so I can't do that. So I'm going to have to unbundle it and turn it into 10 tenths. So instead of looking at 2 going into 1, I would look at it going into 13, because I'm going to split 13 2 ways. How much of the same amount can go into each group? And that would be 6. So I would take 6 of them, put it here, and then 6 more, and put it here. So what's the total amount that I shared? I shared a total of 12, which left me with 1 left. I'm going to convert that 1 into hundredths. And now you can see I have a total of 12 hundredths. So I could split 12 hundredths 2 ways, and I can share, each group can get 6. All right, so each group gets 6, and I shared, hold on one second. I shared all 12. So I have no hundredths left. And I'm left with 4 thousandths to share. So I can put 2 of the thousandths in each group. So, which means I shared a total of 4 thousandths. And there's no thousandths left. So our quotient is 662 thousandths. And that's how the first 2 problems should look. This is what we're going to do. We're going to put our dividend inside where it belongs, in the house. And then our divisor. And then what I want to do is I want to put my decimal straight up. and then I just want to talk it through. So how many 3's goes into 0? None. So I'm going to put 0 there. So how many 3's goes into 7? Well, the number of 3's that would go into 7, I would say would be 2. Because 2 times 3 would be 6, which is, it should be smaller than 7, right? So 2 times 3 is 6. And then I'm going to subtract. Now, what you want to ask yourself is, when you subtract, is your difference an okay number? You'll know it's an okay number if it's smaller than the divisor. It has to be smaller than this number. If it's not, then that means you didn't guess high enough. Also, if you can't subtract it, if you get some kind of a negative number, then you guess too high. So, anyway, we're left with 1, which is a good answer to have so far. But this is 1/10, and I can't split 1/10 3 ways. So when I bring down the 8, I actually turn it into hundredths now. Now I have a total of 18 hundredths. Now how many times can 3 go into 18? 6. So that's like saying 3 groups of 6 will be 18. So 6 times 3 equals 18. Subtract, and I have no hundredths left. So our quotient is 26 hundredths. All right, let's look at B. 7 and 28 hundredths divided by 4. Okay, 4 goes into 7. How many times? 1 time. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract. I have 3 left. So, is 3 an okay answer? It is, because it's smaller than the divisor, 4. So that means I can bring the next number down. I want you to remember this when you're doing your division. If we can go on to the next number and we bring it down, every time we bring a number down, that means that something is going to have to go above that number right in this spot. Okay? So, what's going to go in that spot? It's going to be how many times the divisor goes into this number now, 32. See, we're figuring out how many groups of tenths will equal 32 tenths. So, how many 4's can go into 32? 8. So I'm going to put an 8 right there in the tenths place. And then multiply. 8 times 4 is 32. And then I subtract the 32, and then there's none left. Now, 0 is like the perfect number that you want there. For one, it's less than our divisor, and also there's nothing after it, so there's nothing else to put it into. But that just means that we can move on to the next number. We still have hundredths to deal with. So we're going to bring down the 8, and now ask yourself, how many times does 4 go into 8? Well, 4 goes into 8 2 times. Then you multiply 2 times 4, and you get 8. You subtract it, and there's nothing left. So our quotient is going to be 1 and 82 hundredths. All right, last one here. Let's do 17 and 45 hundredths divided by 5. Okay, first thing you ask yourself, does 5 go into 1? No. Does 5 go into 17? Yes. How many times? It goes into it 3 times. Make sure the 3 goes above the 7 in 17. Then you're going to say 3 times 5 is 15. You're going to multiply that, and you get 15. And then you're going to subtract it. So there's 17 minus 15 is 2. 2 is an okay answer to have because it's less than 5, the divisor. which means I can bring down the next number. So now I'm going to bring down my tenths. So I bring down the 4. Whenever I bring a number down, something has to go above it in the quotient. So the answer to what goes above it is how many times 5 goes into 24 now. So the amount of times that 5 can fit into 24 would only be 4 times, because 4 times 5 is 20. If I said 5 times, then my number would be 25, and that's more than 24, so it wouldn't fit. So 4 times 5 is 20. I subtract, and I have 4 left. Is 4 an okay answer? Yes, because it's lower than the divisor, which is 5. That just means I can move on to the next number. I can bring down my hundredths. Whenever I bring a number down, that means another number is going to go directly above it in the hundredths place. The answer to what goes in the hundredths place is how many times 5 goes into 45. So the amount of 5s that goes into 45 is 9. So 9 times 5 is 45, and there's no hundredths left. So our answer is 3 and 49 hundredths.